Good afternoon. Myself Sushma Iyer, second MSc, Department of Food Science and Nutrition, Yuvaraj's College, Mysuru. The topic I'm presenting is on standardization of fermentation time and its effect on sensorial attributes of Bhatura from Barnyard millet. Now, what is fermentation? The fermentation can be broadly defined as a process in which the carbohydrates or carbohydrates-like compounds are broken down under anaerobic or aerobic condition. Fermentation typically refers to the conversion of sugar to alcohol using yeast under anaerobic condition. Now coming to the importance of microbial fermentation. Fermentation process in the food often leads to the changes in nutritional and biochemical qualities relatively to the starting ingredients. Fermenting microorganism provides a unique approach towards food stability via physical and biochemical changes in fermented foods. Each fermented food is associated with a unique group of microflora, which increases the level of protein, vitamins, essential amino acids, and fatty acid. And it also increases antioxidant production of peptides, enhances flavor and microbial activity. And it also decreases anti-nutrients and also reduces the cooking time of the food. Now coming to the lactic acid fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation is a metabolic process by which gluten or glucose or other 6-carbon glucose are converted into cellular energy and the metabolite lactate, which is lactic acid in solution. Lactic acid fermentation and the alcohol fermentation produce familiar items like yogurt and wine. The fermentation process breaks down the lactose, thus mitigating a potential problematic sugar and decreases the carbohydrate content. Now coming to the millet, which is barnyard millet, and its purpose on incorporation of in the preparation of Bhatura. Barnyard millet has become one of the most important minor millet crop in Asia, showing an upsurge in world's production. It is a good sources of protein, carbohydrates, fibers, and most notably contains more micronutrients, that is iron and zinc, than other major cereals. It is believed that the consumption of barnyard millet can possess various health benefits against diabetes because of its gluten-free nature, cardiovascular disease, obesity, skin problems, cancer, and celiac disease. Despite barnyard millet's excellent nutritional and agronomic value, the lack of awareness has led this crop to be considered as neglected and underutilized crop. So the attempt was made by preparing or partial replacement of Bhatura with barnyard flour. Now coming to the dish Bhatura. Bhatura is a North Indian leavened fried bread made with leavened dough of maida, curd, semolina, salt, sugar, and leavening agent. Sour curd is sometimes added to the dough in the bhaturas cooked by traditional methods to reduce the fermentation time and consequently influences the microbial profile of the total fermentation process. It is one of the fermented products where curd contains several microorganisms, including lactobacillus bacteria, which undergoes anaerobic respiration, and in this process, it acts on the sugar of the flours and releases carbon dioxide. The gas makes the dough rise, and when baked or fried, the gas escapes, leavening the bhatura soft and spongy. And the objectives are to develop barnyard millet-based fermented food product and to evaluate its organoleptic properties, to study the effect of fermentation time on sensory attributes for the development of low gluten and glycemic index product. Now coming to the material and method. In that raw materials, the present study was carried out in the Department of Food Science and Nutrition, Yuvaraj's College, Mysore. The raw materials to prepare barnyard millet bhatura were barnyard millet flour, maida flour, curd, semolina, salt, sugar, oil, baking soda, and baking powder. These ingredients were procured from the local grocery shop in Mysore. And coming to the methods, sensory analysis were evaluated by semi-trained panelists by using hedonic scale consisting of 1 to 9 scores. Proximate analysis was conducted by standard AOAC method. And this is the flow chart of preparation of Bhatura. Now coming to the product formulation, there were 6 different variation where the different variation of barnyard flour was added. That is of 0%, which is also considered as standard, and 20%, 40%, 60%, and 80%, and 100. And the main ingredients are maida flour and semolina curd, sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda, oil, and water were added accordingly to all the 6 variations. Now when we look into the sensory evaluation of Bhatura prepared by different variations, B3, that is 40% brown top barnyard millet added by partial replacement add more acceptability in accordance with the sensorial attributes when compared with the standard Bhatura, and all the other variation at low scoring. And these are the 6 different variations of Bhatura prepared by partial incorporation of barnyard millet. Now coming to the sensory evaluation of Bhatura prepared by variation of the fermentation time. Bhatura, which was prepared by fermenting it for 3 hours, had high sensory scores in respect to the sensory attributes and is considered as the standard fermentation time for Bhatura. These are the 4 different variation of fermentation time of the Bhaturas. Now coming to the nutritional composition. Bhatura, that is B3, which was 40% incorporated with the barnyard millet flour, had low glycemic index because of the lower level of the carbohydrate content. And it was rich in all the essential nutrients, especially with the micronutrients, that is carbohydrate, that is iron and phosphorus had the they were highly rich in the composition of barnyard millet, that is 40% barnyard millet. Now coming to the conclusion, barnyard Bhatura had 40% barnyard which had 40% barnyard and was fermented for 3 hours, had the highest acceptability in the sensory scoring. Proximate nutrients content in this variation of Bhatura at significantly increased level of protein, dietary fibers, iron, and phosphorus. Moreover, it reduced the carbohydrate content of Bhatura, making it low in glycemic index. Hence, barnyard Bhatura is better choice for celiac disease, and it also has low glycemic compared to the standard Bhatura. And this Bhatura contains curd, which has probiotics or live bacteria like lactobacillus and bifidobacteria. This bacteria strengthens the digestive systems and reduces the condition like bloating, irritability, bowel syndrome, dysentery, constipation, gastrointestinal disorder, and diarrhea. These are the references. Thank you.